Okay, and here it is that before going to discuss about that string handling concept anyway, first, because most of the string operations manually whenever we are performing more string operations, first of all we should be good at looping programming first. So today briefly we discuss about that looping programming, and yesterday I have seen so many questions they have asked on pattern programming also. It's like printing patterns and all. Today we cover those things. Okay. Sure. The classes we will upload into that YouTube. So don't worry about that. Don't worry. See, today we start with initially looping statements, not simple thing, not simple things. Okay. See here, the first of all, in the last session we have seen already one loop. It's a while loop. While loop and for loop also we have seen. Now the first one is checking the input number is palindrome or not. Palindrome or not. In the last session we have seen how to find the sum of digits in the given number. How to find the sum of digits in the given number. Of course, the same code we will use. I will explain the complete logic. Complete logic. Here, suppose we are taking one number. In the last session, we have written some code. So what is that? Suppose if n value equals to 525. The palindrome number means what? Reverse number also is equals to the same number. But first of all, that logic, because palindrome string they are expecting. In Java, we need to convert that string into that array and checking that palindrome or not. So that is completely based on this one. See here, 525 we are taking 525. So how can we do this? This is the one. First logic I will write logic while same that n is greater than 0 or n not equals to 0, anything. Inside we are finding that reminder r is equals to, you know how to get the reminder, n mod 10. After that, whenever we are adding to the sum or we use that reverse is equals to reverse into 10 plus that reminder value, and next n is equals to n by 10. In the last session we have seen how to find the digits sum. Digit means what? Reminder you will get. That digits sum we have seen already, but this is a different. See, look at this. First n value is a 525. When you perform reminder operation, r equals to n mod 10. 525 mod 10. That means what? That reminder value is a 5. Last digit you will get. But look at this, reverse initially 0. Take the value, reverse equals to 0. So the value reverse equals to 0 is multiplied with a 10 plus 5. So 0 is multiplied with a 10 means what? 0 only. Plus 5 means what? That value becomes 5. Next, n is equals to n mod 10. N equals to I mean n by 10. N by 10 means what? You will get 52. Next again loop will repeat. Loop will repeat. Remainder is equals to, what is that n value? 52 mod 10. 52 mod 10. So that you will get the remainder equals to 2. And we are finding that reverse equals to 0 into. Now what is that 0? Reverse value, it's not 0, it's 5. 5 into 10 plus, what is the remainder value? 2. So reverse value is a 52. 5 into 10, 50 plus 2 is a 52. Next n value, next n is equals to 5. N equals to 5. So here it is r equals to 5 mod 10. We can't divide. So remainder you will get, that is 5 only. That is 5 only. So here it is a reverse equals to, what is that reverse value already? It's 52 is multiplied with a 10 plus 5. Plus 5. So that is what n is equals to 525. 525. Next, n value becomes 0. When 0, it will stop because 0 not equals to 0 condition false. So finally we are checking. Finally we are checking just whether it is a palindrome number or not. Palindrome number or not. Manually, whenever you are writing that palindrome string also, we use this logic. In future, what are the logics required? Same logics we are discussing here. Same logics we are discussing here. That is, this is what just a palindrome number checking. Palindrome number. So that complete code, can you please write fast? Can you please make it fast? I'm using that scanner also. How many of you can write fast? Scanner. We are creating object. Scan equals to new scanner. We pass that system.in and we are reading that number. You can take that long value also to check that use value. And then we are writing that code as usual. Integer, just reverse equals to 0. While that number is not equals to 0 or greater than 0, anything, we are finding that remainder. Just inside you can declare no issue. Remainder is equals to number mod 10. Reverse equals to reverse into 10 plus remainder. And simply number equals to number by 10. When you come outside, if that number and reverse both are equal, so then only we can call it as a palindrome. But here one simple problem is there. I'll explain. System.out.println, it's not palindrome. See, every time whenever we are changing that number value, that number finally becomes 0. So 0 equals to reverse condition false every time. That's why we should take the help of one temp variable. Temp. You can check with the temp variable. You can check with a temp variable. That is, suppose here if I give that value is a 5225, it's palindrome number. Palindrome number. That is. This one. See here, Just like how we have created that palindrome. Now, using for loop, we have seen this one. We have seen this one. Can you please write the code for factorial number? That's simple code now. Yes, you please write this factorial number, because later we combine both and we will write another logic. Hope everyone can write palindrome. Sorry, factorial number. Just repeat the loop. 1 to itself number, or simply I'm taking n plus plus. We are taking that fact equals to 1. Fact equals to fact into I. Fact equals to fact into I. Right? We are printing that factorial value. System.out.println. What is that factorial value? That fact we are printing. Whatever the number you give, suppose if I give that value is a 5, factorial value is 120. Hope everyone can write this code. Simple code we know. Fact equals to fact into I. Yes. Okay. Yeah, recursive examples I will explain. Okay. So don't worry. After pattern programming, recursive programs also I will explain. You don't worry. Now here, my question is, what strong number? Strong number. Sir, what is this strong number? What is this strong number? First of all, we should collect the digits. We should collect the digits. Here, I'm taking n is equals to 1, 4, 5. N equals to 1, 4, 5. We need to find the digits of, individual digits, factorial value we need to find out. Individual digits, factorial value we need to find. Here it is a 1 factorial, 1 factorial, 4 factorial, 5 factorial, individual digits. So 1 plus 4 factorial is a 24 plus 5 factorial is a 120 equals to 145. Equals to 145. You know how to get the individual digit. How to get individual digits? Just simply we are taking just finding the digit. Finding the digit. First, find digit. After finding the digit, by performing the remainder operation using remainder. Next, find factorial of that digit. Digit factorial of that digit. Add factorial value to sum. Repeat this process. Repeat this process until n is not equals, means what? Not equals to 0. Same one only. Same one only. Okay. Can you please write the code of this? How many of you? In the last session, we have discussed that getting digit by digit, first 5 we got, and we are adding to the sum. Sum equals to first 0. We are adding that last digit. We are adding that last but one digit. We are adding the first digit. Now, please don't add digits. Please find the factorial value and then add. And then add. Only that much we have to do. Yeah, here the same code, the previous one. In the previous example, we are taking that sum value and we are taking that temporary variable. Until that number not equals to 0, we are just finding that remainder. Remainder means what? Is a digit. Now we need to find the factorial of this digit. Find the factorial. After finding the factorial, add to the sum. Sum equals to sum plus fact. But where is that fact? Create that fact is equals to 1. Repeat the loop. I starts with 1, 2. I is less than or equals to that remainder. Because remainder factorial value we are finding. So that sum equals to sum into fact. Only this much. In the first case, we are getting the digit. Sum mod 10. Suppose that value is a 145. Mod 10 means what? You will get 5 into the remainder. So that here it is a 1 to 5 we are repeating. Remainder factorial we are finding. Sum equals to sum plus fact. Because fact value is 120. At 120 we are adding fact into I. Sum equals to fact into I. Fact into I. Inside we are finding the factorial value. Sorry, outside we are adding to that sum. Sum is equal to sum plus fact. Next, go to that next digit. Finally, if temp value, given number and sum both are equal, we call it as a strong number and a not strong number. Strong number and not strong number, like this. So when we execute this code, suppose if it is a 145, 145 is a strong number. 145 is a strong number. That is the code. See here, simple codes and within the range find the fact means what? Find the strong numbers. Right? Within the range, yes, strong and Armstrong are different. Okay, we'll see all the things. The next one is as you know that Fibonacci series. So what is that Fibonacci series? The series in which the sum of two consecutive numbers will be the next number. If you take that series, starts with 0, 0, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2, 3, 2 plus 3, 5, 3 plus 5, 8, 5 plus 8, 13. Like this it will go. That is what series. So they are expecting that you print that Fibonacci series. So first of all, initially take two variables. We must take the two variables minimum because first two in the series we need to collect. A value and B value. A value and B value. Okay, and you just take that C value. C value is a add both first number and the second number. Add both and store into C. Store into C. It's nothing but here it is a C equals to A plus B. C equals to A plus B. Once you found the third number, now this is the first number, this is the second number, and this is the third number, right? For the next iteration, it should be the first number. You got my point. It should be the second number. It should be the first number and it should be the second number. It's nothing but store B value into A. Into A store B value. And next one into B store C value. So nothing but A value become 1. A value become 1. B value also 1. So sir, what about C value? 1 plus 1 is a 2. 1 plus 1 is a 2 in the next iteration. The B value will come to 1, C value will come to that B, and here it is 1 plus 2 value 3. Next 2 will come to here, 3 will come to here, 2 plus 3 equals to 5. Next 3 will come to here, 5 will come to here, 3 plus 5 equals to 8. Like this process will continue. This process will continue. So this logic you have to put in the loop. You have to put in the loop. For example, for loop from 1 to limit. How much they have given? 1 to limit we are repeating. Sir, what we are printing, sir? We are printing every time just A value we are printing. Because just look at the A value. Look at the A value. A value 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. That is only given. That is only given. So this is the code and this is the logic and this is the explanation. First A value prints. What is that? A value 0. Next A plus B value will store into C. When you found the third one, automatically it will change. That is not required. See A values, no need to print AB first, sir. Why? The reason, look at this A value. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, next 5 will come, next 8 will come. Initially no need to print. Those many print statements not required. With a single print statement, you can print like this. You can print like this with a single statement. That is. Okay, now. So same here. Enter limit. We just ask enter limit or nothing but like how many factors required in the series. We are just taking that limit. And take two variables, int A equals to 0 and B equals to 1, comma C. We are repeating the loop. For just I equals to 1 to limit. Limit times we are repeating the loop. Limit times we are repeating. Every time we are printing the A value. Sir, I want to give just a tab space only. You can give tab space. /t. C equals to A plus B. We are adding first 2. Will become the third number that we are collecting into C. Once you find the third number, then second number become the first number. Nothing but B value will be stored into A. Next, the third number become the second number. Into B we are storing C. Suppose here it is that series, total 8 I am giving. 8 will display. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Finish. Like this. No need to display that A value and B value before. Directly you can print that A value inside. Simple one. Simple one. Now, we know that simple code. Hope everyone can write. Hope everyone can write. Just perfect number. Already factors we have find out in the last session. Sum of factors. Sum of factors of a given number excluding the number. Excluding itself is equals to the same number. Is equals to the same number. That is nothing but directly I am taking one variable value n equals to 6. We need to find the factors. You know how to find the factors. Repeat the loop and check one by one, one by one. 1 is a factor or not. 2 is a factor or not. 3 is a factor or not. 4 is a factor or not. 5 is a factor or not. 6 is a factor or not. We need to find that. But no need to check with itself. No need to check with itself. And one thing remember, whenever no need to check with itself, anyway, when you make it half exactly from n by 2, definitely you will not get any factor. Factor means what? It should be divisible, na? It should be divisible. From 4, 5, definitely it is not divisible. Only 6 is the divisible. But anyway, now 6 is also not required because except itself. So starts from 1 to n by 2 less than or equals to n by 2. Just find how many factors are present. Count. Take one sum. 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, total 6. So if the given number and sum both are equal, then it is called perfect number. It is called perfect number. Can you please write the code for this one? Perfect number, whenever they input one number, we need to find how many factors are present. N is divisible by 1 or not. N is divisible by 2 or not. N is divisible by 3 or not. Next, here it is up to n by 2 only you can find the factors. Later you can find only one factor if you think logically, this one. But anyway, now no need to check with itself. Except itself, remaining factors sum is equals to the same number. Is equals to the same number. We need to find out this. We need to find out this. So here it is, whenever we use a 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. checking that n and sum both are equal. Yes, it is the perfect number. After n by 2, you never get the factor. 6 is not divisible. Suppose if you take 9, factors you can find up to that less than 5 only, 4 only. 5, 6, 7, 8, not the factors. Only 9 is the factor, na? General thinking. So 25 factors means what? Up to 12 only factors you may find out. From that n by 2 plus 1, you never get that factors except itself. That's why only we are repeating up to n by 2. That's it. So we ask them to enter the number. Enter a number. We are taking that n equals to. We are repeating that loop. I starts from 1 to n by 2. Enough. Every time we are checking. Suppose we are finding that sum equals to 0. Sum equals to 0. If that n value is divisible by I, if it is divisible, then we are adding that I to the sum. First I value 1. First I value 1. Take n value 6. N value 6. I value starts with 1, 2, 3 only. Only n by 2. Here n is divisible by I. N mod I equals to 0 condition is true. That will be added to sum. So sum 0 plus 1, 1. Next loop will repeat. N is divisible by 2. Yes, condition is true. Condition is true. So 1 plus 2, value is a 3. Next here it is n is divisible by 3. Is divisible by 3. 3 plus 3 value is a 6. 3 plus 3 value is a 6. Like this we found. So finally, if that sum value and n value both are equal, then we can say that it is perfect, else not perfect. Else not perfect. This one. So what is that? For test case like 25, can't take 5. Not 5, right? By 2 means what? 12, na? N by 2. 12 by 2 means what? Up to 12 we have to. 25 by 2 means what? Up to 12 you will take, na? Not up to 5. Hope you are getting. Yeah. Okay. So when you run this code, is a 6, it's a perfect number. If you give any other thing, for example, 10, it's not perfect number. It's not perfect number. Okay, so why I have explained this perfect number? Because they're expecting the questions. They're expecting the questions. Print the perfect numbers. Print perfect numbers in the given range. Print perfect numbers in the given range. They are expecting this question. And print strong numbers in the given range. Print strong numbers in the given range. Such type of questions they are expecting. So here, now here it is. This is the perfect number logic. You know that perfect number logic. How we are writing? Suppose n for I value starts with 1, I is less than or equals to n by 2, I plus plus. Inside, we are writing the logic if n is divisible by I equals to 0, just we are adding that sum is equals to sum plus I. Just now we have seen. And outside, if n value and if I value and sum value both are equal, we are just printing that I is perfect. I is perfect. Like that message we are printing. Sorry, n. We are finding the n value na? N. N is perfect, we are writing. Before this one, we are just taking that sum equals to 0. See, guys, this is the code. This is the code to display. Nothing but this is the code to check. This is the code to check to find the number is a even or perfect or not. This code. This code checking n is perfect or not. My requirement is what? Within the range. Suppose if they give a limit is 1,000. So 1,000 times you should execute this same code. 1,000 times you should execute this code. 1,000 times. Okay. See here we are repeating like this. For n value starts with 1, n is less than or equals to 1,000, n plus plus, finish. This is the one. So first n value 1. Using this code, n1 is a perfect or not, it will check. Next, it will go to outer loop. N value become 2. N value become 2. It will come inside. It will come inside. And it is checking that 2 is a perfect or not. Next, n value become 3. Is checking that 3 is a perfect or not. Code is already given. You please write the complete code. Make it fast. Perfect number. The same code only. But first we are taking the limit. Enter limit. Suppose if the limit is 100. 1 to 100 only, how many perfect numbers are present? 1 to 100. If they give 1,000, 1 to 1000, how many perfect numbers are present? Is within the range, easily you can find out. It's not a matter. The code is, first we are expecting enter limit. Enter limit. They will input the limit. They will input the limit. After this. So this one is used to find that n is a perfect or not. N is a perfect or not. If both are equal, yes, we are saying that n is perfect. But this logic now we are repeating with we are taking better here, it is a limit. Now for loop n starts with 1 and n is less than or equal to limit n plus plus. N plus plus, this one. First n value 1. Suppose limit is 100, consider 100. N value 1. 1 is less than or equals to 100, condition is true. Come inside. Is checking 1 is a perfect or not. If it is perfect, it's printing that 1 is perfect. It's printing that 1 is perfect. Suppose if it is not equal, it will not display that 1 is not perfect. It will not give the message 1 is not perfect and all. Only just perfect numbers we are printing. Only perfect numbers we are printing. Remember that. Now again that value become 2. Is checking that 2 is a perfect or not. If it is perfect, 2 is perfect will display. Next again loop will repeat. Is checking that 3 is perfect or not. 4 is perfect or not, and so on. 100 is perfect or not, it will check. Only perfect numbers will display. Only perfect numbers. Enter limit. Suppose 10. Between 1 to 10, there is only one perfect number. Between 1 to 100, there are two perfect numbers, 6, 28. From 0 to 1000, only three perfect numbers are available, 628 and 496. So manually, if you want to calculate, so much time it will take. The advantage of programming, the system will calculate much faster. You can find out easily. That is the one. Can you please write the code within the range? Finding the strong numbers. Strong numbers within the range. Strong numbers within the range. I will not show you that strong number code because today only I have explained. Do it fast. strong number code I am taking. Strong number code. See, in the while loop, we are writing for loop to find the strong number. This complete logic is used to check that strong or not. If it is a strong, we are taking that number n. Suppose n we are taking. I'm not taking number, just n. So we are taking that n is a strong. We have seen this. Now this one we need to place inside the loop. Same story, enter limit. System.out.println enter limit. We are collecting that limit. For I value starts with 1. I is less than n value, n we are taking. N equals to 1. N is less than or equals to that limit, and n plus plus. First we are taking that. Reminder, finding the factorial, everything. If both are equal, the temp we are taking, so temp is a strong. Everything we have to place inside the loop. This one you just try. Now you please write the code for these things, guys. My requirement is find the sum of even numbers and sum of odd numbers in the given input, in the input number. Even digits and odd digits, better to understand. Even digits and odd digits. This one, just checking. It's nothing but take one number. Any number I am taking. Any number. Take two things. One is a even sum equals to 0, and second one is a odd sum equals to 0. Now even numbers, whenever you get the digit check that even digit or odd digit. Suppose 4 is even digit now. Next 7 is odd digit. Next 1 is odd digit only. Next 8 is even digit. Next 2 is even digit. 4 is even digit. 9 is odd digit. 9, and next again 2 is even digit. 3 is a odd digit, and 8 is a even digit. Individual sums we need to calculate. Okay, do it fast. Write the code. Please try to write. How much you can write, you please try. I've just collected that someone has written. Take two variables, even sum and odd sum, and we are taking this. We collect the number. If the number mod 2 equals to 0 is nothing but it's an even. So we are adding to even sum. Else we are adding to that odd sum. And we are just dividing. N equals to n by 10. Even sum and odd sum is. Even sum and odd sum is. Odd sum is just 4, 5, 3 are there. 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 5 is a 9. Okay, this is the one. This is the one. Write the output for this code. Loops I am checking. Just loops I am writing. Loops. I'm taking like int I and j. Int I and j. Why? While I is less than or equals to 5. While I is less than or equals to 5. What is that I value? I equals to 1. J equals to 1. J equals to 1. While j is less than or equals to 5. Here we are printing the j value. And we are writing j plus plus. Or we are writing like this also. Plus plus I plus plus j. Simple one. And outside also we are printing the j value only. Printing the j value only. When we are compiling, the no compile time error. Can you please write the output for this? Please don't execute the code. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now look at the output of this code. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because while checking the condition, every time it is executing. Look at this. For I value 1. Plus I means what? Value is a 2. Condition is true. Plus j means what? Value is a 2. Condition is true. So first 2 will display. Next inner loop only will repeat na. Inner loop. So plus j means what? Value 3. So 3 will display. Next here is j value become 4. 4 will display. Next j value become 5. 5 will display. Now observe. Next j value becomes 6. Condition false. 6 is less than or equals to 5. Condition false. It will come out. It will come out and it will display that j value is a 6. J value only are printing na 6. Now outer loop will repeat. I value become 3. Condition is true. It will come inside. See, while checking the condition, only j value is increasing. Plus j means what? 7. 7 is less than or equals to 5. Condition false. So it will come out. But still you are printing that j value only 7. Again that loop will repeat. Here it is that I value become 4. Condition is true, come inside, j value become 8. Right, it will come out and it is executing that j value 8. Next value become 5 and this value become 9. And it will come out that 9 will display. Next when outer loop value 6, it will fail. So it will start from 2 to 9, all values will display. The control flow of loops are important. So because whenever we are writing the loops, we need to take care of these things. Okay, remember that. Just one thing to check yourself. Not more than that. Why is not go back to 0 now? Because every time you are increasing only, na, where you are decreasing, you are not decreasing, na. That is. And now here, they are expecting the pattern programming. They are expecting the pattern programming and all. See, pattern programming means what? Here it is a stars and numbers. Stars and numbers. Suppose 5 into 5 star. 5 into 5 star. That is. For this, please use that nested loop. 2 loops we are using. Outer for loop for repetition. Inner for loop is printing. Remember this. Remember this. Outer loop is always for repeating the rows. Is representing the rows. Inner loop is always repeating columns. We are printing the data, column data only. Printing data. Column wise only we are printing the data. Column wise we are printing the data. Completely pattern programming. Pattern. So one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. Some tricks also up to goes this class. Okay. Yeah. These programs, and tomorrow, please practice these programs for today. Practice these programs for today. So many programs we have discussed. In the tomorrow session, I will explain the pattern programming, and based on the today discussions, some of the programs like to practice I will give. Okay. I will explain so that logic you have to write. I will not give time in the classroom to write. I don't want to waste the time here. Just like a homework I will give. So what are the things homework? Today you please practice this, concentrate on this. Based on these things only, I will ask the questions tomorrow. Okay. So here, yeah, the content and everything. We have created the two things. I mean, two classes we have created, two classes. From these two classes, we already have your numbers because you got the message, right? And the registered mail IDs also we have. You will get the Google Classroom link. See here, it is a Naresh IT sent that. I am sending that once again. I'm sending that once again with the help of the Google Classroom link. Please join. Yeah, string manipulations, everything I will explain. Okay. So questions we have, but before that we need to complete, because the string manipulations, whenever you are performing, first of all, we should be good at nested for loops briefly. Few students, those who already attended C classes or attending C classes, understands loops, but few students are not getting that nested loops. That's why first I'll concentrate on pattern program. After that, arrays and string manipulations, mostly day after tomorrow. Completely we concentrate on strings and arrays manipulation programs. That is Armstrong number, Adam number, so many numbers are there. But tomorrow I will explain how to write the code. So then I will give the homework of all those numbers tomorrow. Based on that, you can improve your logical skills. After 2 days, right, means what? As I said, we will start the data structures. Data structures only MCQs. I'll explain the complete theory concept, and the MCQs I will ask you to complete. Okay, na? That is. So most of the students are attending other classes also. You can leave if you have any other class. I will send this document, nothing but we will upload the document in the Google Classroom. Yesterday class also we will upload into the YouTube. If anyone missed, you please go through that. Okay. Tomorrow we will come with more examples. You can leave. Thank you guys. Yeah, definitely we will provide important questions tomorrow. Only 2 NCR questions they will ask, and 15 MCQs from data structures and algorithms. Yeah, you can use a C++ also, no problem. But here it is most of our students are core Java students only, Java students. So that's why here I have selected that Java. Yeah, this test is not for 2019 passed out, but anyway you can continue this program because it will be useful for other class, means what, other things also. Because the logical programming not only for NCR, na, for every competitive exam logical programming is important.